I am the top actress in the entertainment industry. On my daughter's 7th birthday, my husband bought a time machine for 1 billion yuan. He said he regretted it. He wanted to go back 8 years to save his first love from the flood, instead of me, his newlywed wife, who was pregnant at the time. So, on this special day, I watched helplessly as the daughter I had pampered for 7 years vanished into time. And to celebrate his first love's return from the dead, he set off fireworks across the entire city. When I opened my eyes again, I was reborn, back to 8 years ago, right before the flood. This time, I kicked Leo straight into the water, and quietly watched as the two of them swam together in the flood, reenacting the most romantic scene from Titanic. Chapter 1. Olivia! I jolted awake as if from a deep dream. My trembling hand instinctively reached for my stomach. Everything around me felt so familiar. I had been reborn, returned to the night before the flood 8 years ago, on my daughter Olivia's 7th birthday. My husband Leo traded her for a 10 billion yuan time machine after 8 years of marriage. He said, "Luna, I'm willing to give up everything to buy a time machine, as long as I can go back. I will bring Ruby back. She is my true love." And so, Olivia vanished before my very eyes. No matter how hard I searched, I couldn't find her. Worse still, no one in the world remembered her either. All they remembered was the high-profile CEO, Leo, flaunting his love for his wife and spending millions on fireworks throughout the city, all just to win a smile from the famous little actress, Ruby. 7 days and 7 nights of endless fireworks. I couldn't find my daughter, nor could I seek revenge. I died in bitterness beneath those dazzling, breathtaking fireworks. But now, I was back. On the eve of the flood, my assistant grumbled, somewhat displeased. "Luna, you're pregnant and passed out, and yet Leo's still in Ruby's tent, not even checking on you." I shook my head, unable to control the tears that fell, my heart surging with emotion. "Thank goodness, Olivia. This time, Mom will protect you." The rain was pouring down outside. I grabbed my assistant's hand immediately. "Notify the villagers now. Tell them all to evacuate to higher ground. The flood is coming, and by tomorrow morning, this place will be submerged." 8 years ago, this flood claimed the lives of over 1,000 people. Now that I've been reborn, I will do everything in my power to reduce the loss of lives. As my assistant was about to leave, I quickly called her back. "Wait! Don't disturb Leo and Ruby. Just get everyone to the boats first." Leo! In my past life, he regretted saving me, his newlywed wife who was pregnant at the time, during the flood. So, he spent 10 billion yuan on a time machine, disregarding Olivia's fate. He traveled back 8 years to choose a different person to save. This time, I want to see how he plans to escape alive. Chapter 2. This was my first year of marriage to Leo, and also my most successful year as a star. I was filming in a remote location, and Leo, under the pretense of visiting me on set, was secretly getting close to Ruby, a minor actress, behind my back. As I rushed to inform everyone about the evacuation, I passed by Ruby's tent, and coincidentally heard Leo's deep, raspy laughter. With me, he had always been cold and indifferent. Every time Olivia tried to please Leo, he ruthlessly rejected her. She was such an obedient child, always saying, "It's my fault for making Daddy angry." But despite being such a considerate child, Leo erased her from existence, and no one remembers her. He regretted not saving Ruby and used a time machine to go back to the past, altering the outcome. As a result, my daughter Olivia perished. How could I not hate him? How could I not feel bitter? Even outsiders couldn't bear to watch. "Luna, what Leo did was too much." The director hesitated, giving me a sympathetic look. I swallowed my rising hatred and forced a smile. Young people like to play around. It's normal, but I had more important things to do. And soon, Leo wouldn't be laughing anymore. I told the director, "Director, if you trust me now, take everyone and get on the boat immediately." The director and I had worked together many times, so he trusted me completely. Hearing my words, he quietly started moving people. The sound of the rain was loud, pounding on the tent relentlessly. Leo and Ruby were inside their tent, watching Titanic together. They were laughing and playing, oblivious to the commotion outside, which was understandable. This time, I wouldn't be foolish enough to give up my career for love. I needed to protect the Olivia I was carrying and safeguard my current glory. We worked through the night, and most of the villagers were evacuated to the boat. This boat was a prop for the shoot, but fortunately, the director was wealthy enough to rent a real one. Otherwise, everyone here would have been in danger. As dawn broke, before leaving, I glanced one last time at Ruby's tent. It remained untouched throughout the night. I couldn't wait to see the look on their faces when they emerged to find a deserted landscape, engulfed by raging floodwaters. Chapter 3. My assistant gently reminded me, "Ma'am, it seems Leo is still in Ruby's tent. Should we go call them?" The water level was already above the waist, and the flood was quickly escalating. I glanced at my assistant and said, "You go ahead. I'll go get them." It was a life or death situation, and my assistant didn't dare delay. Under the pretense of going to call them, I personally lifted a corner of their tent, even though the tent was set up on high ground. Lifting a corner would be enough to let the floodwaters in and collapse it. Leo. Ruby, thank me. I've given you the rare chance to endure hardship together. When I finally boarded the boat, it was already full. Luna, come on. The last spot is yours. Yes, the last spot should have been mine. In the past life, if I hadn't stayed behind waiting for Leo, he wouldn't have had the chance to save me. Once on the boat, I watched Leo and Ruby frantically rushing towards us from a distance. In the face of life and death, it was a pity that there was no space for them on this entire boat. Chapter 4. A violent storm raged, with torrential rain pouring down. Floodwaters burst through the remote areas, carrying a mixture of mud and debris. Leo and Ruby were drifting in the water, clinging to each other. Luna, pull us up. I looked down at Leo's handsome, refined face, now so disheveled. He had always been proud and aloof, untouched by the filth of the world, but now he looked as though he had fallen from grace, pitiful, but not deserving of sympathy. I placed a trembling hand on my stomach, suppressing my rage, and said calmly, "But there's no room left. How do you expect me to save you?" Ruby, like a fragile, delicate flower, clung to him. Leo, I'm so cold. Don't worry. Ruby, Luna will definitely save us. Everyone watched my husband, the illustrious CEO Leo, tenderly comforting Ruby in his arms. The rest of the people on the boat were anxious, like ants on a hot stove. Finally, someone found one last life buoy. Luna, here's a life buoy. You can use it to pull Leo up. Of course, this was the same life buoy that had made Leo face an agonizing choice in the past, one he regretted for life. And now, I would make him choose again. I tossed the life buoy to Leo. Then, suppressing the smirk trying to form on my lips, I said regretfully, "Too bad, it can only save one person." Everyone on the boat was shouting, "Leo, use the life buoy. The flood will kill you." But that wasn't enough. I needed this moment as preparation for the story of our divorce, for what I would frame as a tragic widowhood. I signaled my assistant with a glance, who immediately pulled out her phone and started a live stream. The title read, "Real-Life Titanic Drama," with a quick investment of $10,000 to boost its visibility. The live stream shot to the trending list in seconds. At that moment, Ruby's eyes filled with tears, and they began to fall silently. "Leo, I love you. I was willing to give everything for you, but lately I've been feeling nauseous. It's probably because of what happened 2 months ago." Her words made Leo's face go pale. The entire internet exploded. Leo still hadn't realized the live stream was running. He was clearly torn, but I couldn't let that happen. Could I? "Let me help him a little." My assistant immediately chimed in. "Oh my, Leo. The whole internet knows that Ruby was your high school sweetheart. Can you really let her be swept away by the flood? She's so delicate, so small, so helpless. She relies on you completely. The viewers are all watching you right now. How could you not save her? Think carefully. Leo, don't do something you'll regret for the rest of your life." The water kept rising, and the crashing of waves echoed in our ears. The whole internet was watching Leo, the hero of pure love, since you love making choices so much, and morally blackmailing me. Now, when it's just you and Ruby, and only one of you can survive. Let's see what choice you'll make. Chapter 5. The number of viewers in the live stream skyrocketed. The entire internet was watching the scene of the high-profile CEO Leo and the fragile flower Ruby, both caught in peril. Leo's face suddenly darkened, his gaze blazing with fury. Who told you to record this? Are you trying to get yourself killed? Because the camera was aimed directly at Leo's face, he mistakenly assumed the assistant was only recording a video. He probably still didn't realize this was being broadcast live. Things were starting to get interesting. This time, I was determined to let Leo struggle in the water, to expose his hypocrisy, and make the internet explode. The cold water soaked through Ruby's body, and her face turned as white as a sheet, her entire frame trembling. Leo, can you give me the life buoy? I don't want to die. Ruby's slender frame clung to Leo's side, barely holding on, trying to prevent herself from being swept away by the flood. I couldn't help but curl my lips into a smirk. Leo, now that you are also part of the equation, let's see how you make your choice. As I expected, he was unable to decide at the moment. By now, the number of viewers in the live stream had surpassed 1 million. The whole internet was watching, waiting to see Leo's struggle to survive. This was more thrilling than any survival show. Then, amidst the anticipation of millions, a cold, ruthless voice rang out, loud enough for everyone on the boat to hear. Whoever jumps off the boat and gives up their spot will be rewarded with 1 million. Leo was a businessman, cold and calculating to the extreme. It was as if he was negotiating whose life to buy. 1 million. Enough to make these ordinary people's eyes light up. To them, it was an astronomical sum. My expression immediately turned cold. This was bad. Leo was planning to buy someone's life. His arrogant gaze swept over the crowd. Even in the midst of a flood, he still carried the air of a superior, with the authority and privilege he had been raised with. 1 million, that's enough to last you a lifetime. He sneered. More than enough to buy your life. Chapter 6. The internet exploded. The people on the boat lit up with greed, but it sparked outrage. Viewers in the live stream were furiously condemning Leo as a ruthless capitalist. Leo doesn't even care about the lives of the people on the boat. 1 million for a life? Even selling body parts wouldn't be so cheap. I hate the face of these capitalists, looking down on everyone. He's just like my boss. Most of the villagers on the boat were itching to take the deal. Some who were strong swimmers had already begun taking off their jackets, preparing to jump for the money. I glanced lightly at my assistant. My assistant immediately called out to them. Wait! Don't your lives matter too? You're rushing to die for him. But what if you earn the money but never live to spend it? Besides, with no guarantee, how can you trust his words? He hasn't even paid you yet, and you're already jumping to your death? When there's no proof after you're gone, it'll be too late. At that moment, a bolt of lightning struck the sky with a loud rumble. Everyone fell silent. The excitement on Leo's face disappeared instantly, and in desperation, he raised the offer. 5 million. 5 million for 2 spots. If someone jumps down, 5 million will be transferred immediately. Now, Leo's calm facade started to crack, and a trace of panic appeared on his always composed face. Even though he looked flustered, he held Ruby tightly by the waist, showing obvious affection. But sadly, no one believed him anymore. For most of the villagers, 1 million was already an astronomical amount. 5 million? That sounded even more impossible. Like a bluff. The bigger the promise, the more they doubted him. As for the crew, they knew Leo well enough. In a life-or-death situation, who would really take the risk? So, everyone just rubbed their noses, scratched their heads, and stayed seated quietly. Leo, it's not worth it. Money's not more important than life. Exactly. With the waves this big, who's going to jump in? Leo's face grew paler, his expression darkening. But just at that crucial moment, the life buoy was snatched from his hands. Chapter 7. Ruby grabbed the life buoy without hesitation and slipped it onto herself. Ruby! You! Leo's pupils shrank, his cold expression shifting to one of shock, then slowly turning into pain. In a hoarse voice, he asked, "Ruby, why are you doing this?" "Well, obviously, to survive." I fought to suppress the smirk that was threatening to form on my lips, feeling a wave of satisfaction. "Leo, doesn't it feel terrible to be betrayed by your first love?" "Leo, I'm sorry, but I have to do this for our child. I want to live." Ruby's shoulders trembled as she spoke with emotion. "The fortune teller said that I'll only have sons in this life. No daughters. If I wasn't pregnant with our son, I would rather die and give you the life buoy. But now I'm carrying our child. I have 2 lives inside me. Leo, this is our son." Hearing Ruby's words, Leo was left speechless. He obviously didn't want to die. In the past, he always believed that his family had an empire to inherit, so he favored sons over daughters. In our previous life, he resented Olivia for being a girl, so now, he turned to the crew, trying to apply pressure once again, using his position as one of the investors to threaten them. But it was useless. Regular workers value their lives too, don't they? Leo, now completely cornered, shot me a dangerous look. "Luna, you don't want to just stand there and watch me die, do you? You'll save me, right?" I shrugged, a look of regret on my face. "But I can't save you either." Leo clenched his teeth, shivering, but his piercing gaze remained fixed on me. "No, you can save me." His tone was so sure, it sent chills down my spine. My heart sank as I coldly glared at him. Then I heard him say, without hesitation, "You come down, and let me take your place." Chapter 8. The entitlement in Leo's voice chilled me to the core. Did he really believe I loved him so much that I'd willingly die for him? I hadn't even begun to avenge the hatred from our past life. "Leo, you're really giving yourself too much credit, aren't you? Who gave you the confidence to think I'd switch places with you?" Leo's face suddenly changed. He stared at me in shock, his expression hardening as he said flatly, "If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have come here to check on you. This wouldn't have happened. And ultimately, it's related to you. If something happens to me, you won't walk away from this cleanly either." I once held a sweet, idealized view of Leo. He was my childhood friend, my confidant, and my lover. But now, with all the illusions stripped away, Leo was just Leo, an ordinary man with no charm left. "Oh, really? Did I ask you to check on me in Ruby's tent? Everyone knows you've been staying up late, having deep talks about life with her." I tore into him mercilessly. "If there's someone to blame, it's not me. It's you. I already gave you the life buoy, but it's your own fault you couldn't keep it. What else can I do? Take all your deep feelings and share them with the king of the underworld." The live stream viewers were completely stunned. Seeing the comments explode, I felt euphoric, unable to get anything from me. Leo shifted his attention to Ruby. With only one life buoy between them, only one could survive. The flood raged on. No one on the boat was willing to give up their spot, and the life buoy could only save one. Leo's face darkened as he looked at Ruby, his fist clenched in frustration. Chapter 9. Leo. Ruby's tear-filled eyes widened in fear, her face pale with panic. "Leo, I can feel our baby slipping away. He might not survive." "Leo, don't you want him to live?" The mention of the baby was the only thing that could stir any emotion in Leo. At that moment, he still didn't know that I, too, carried his child. But this time, my daughter belongs to me alone. He has nothing to do with her. As for whether Ruby's so-called son is actually Leo's, that's hard to say. My assistant couldn't help but lean in and whisper in my ear, "Luna, Ruby isn't as innocent as she seems. Leo is no match for her." I curled my lips into a slight smile. Of course, I knew that already. Who doesn't know the gossip in this circle? Ruby is infamous for being a manipulator. As long as a man has money, looks, or status, she's willing to be with him. She drifts between men, and they all fall into the palm of her hand. Leo was just one of them. The child is merely Ruby's bargaining chip for survival at this point. But perhaps it's the power of the first love filter. Leo firmly believed the child was his. So, he resolutely went his own way. Watching him walk away, I narrowed my eyes. "Leo, you better not be dead this time." Only then will you see whose child your sweet first love is really carrying. In the flood, most lives were saved. As the water receded, a full-scale search was launched to find Leo, dead or alive. They needed to recover him. After an entire day of searching, Leo's whereabouts were finally discovered. He knew how to swim, so he was barely clinging to life. After being rushed to the hospital, Leo stayed in the ICU for 3 days and 3 nights. I, however, never visited him once. I was fully focused on filming. It wasn't until I heard that Leo had narrowly escaped death that I remembered I needed to go file for divorce. When I reached the hospital room, I heard Ruby's sobbing voice. "Leo, you're finally awake. You have no idea how worried I've been. I've been so scared these past few days. I didn't mean to take the life jacket, it was all for our son. Leo, you'll forgive me, right?" I glanced over and saw the deep affection on Leo's sickly face. He held Ruby's hands and gently comforted her. "Ruby, I've never blamed you. You're a mother, I understand your desire to protect our son. Leo, you have no idea how awful Luna has been. That day, she even started a live stream, and now people are attacking us online." Leo, pale as a ghost, shot up in his hospital bed, his voice hoarse. "What?" He rubbed his forehead, his eyes full of shock. "Luna dared to broadcast live? Is she insane? Does she not realize what damage this could do to the company?" I nearly burst out laughing. Did Leo really not know that his company's stock had already plummeted? Chapter 10. I pushed open the door and glanced at the man, worn out and sick, lying in the hospital bed. "I'm not crazy. If anyone's losing it, it's your company's PR team. After all, Leo's public image is beyond saving this time." During this period, the news about Leo using money to save his own life has dominated the trending topics for days. A cold, indifferent glint appeared in his eyes. "Luna, what good does this do you? Are you deliberately watching me and Ruby suffer, drifting helplessly in the flood?" Just then, Leo's mother suddenly burst through the door. "Leo, how can you say that about Luna? Don't you think all of this is your fault? And this young lady, Ruby? Leo, you need to cut ties with her immediately and apologize to Luna." Leo's mother shot him a quick look, signaling him to back down and apologize to me. As if I didn't know, the same routine played out in my past life. My mother-in-law and Leo loved to put on this act in front of me and Olivia. One would play the good cop, and the other the bad cop, slowly eroding my family's wealth. However, this time, Leo firmly held onto Ruby's hand, his tone steady and resolute. "Mom, Ruby is pregnant with my child. She's carrying the grandson you've always wanted. I'm going to give her a home." His words hit me like a heavy blow. I wasn't angry, but my heart ached endlessly for Olivia. In our past life, Olivia tried so hard to win over the family, but because she was a girl, they never gave her a second glance. And Leo, he never once considered giving Olivia a harmonious, loving family or being a good father figure to her. Calmly, I reached into my bag, pulled out the divorce papers, and placed them in front of him. "Perfect. Let's get divorced then." Leo's mother immediately grew frantic, her voice trembling. "Leo, have you lost your mind? Did the flood mess up your brain? You want to give her a home. But what about Luna?" Her eyes shifted, and then she turned to me, saying, "Luna, dear, don't worry. I'll take care of this for you. Let's just forget about the whole flood incident. I won't blame you for it. But divorce? That's out of the question, isn't it?" A flash of shock passed across Leo's eyes as he stared at the divorce agreement for a solid few seconds before reacting. "All right, I agree to the divorce." Leo's mother couldn't hold back any longer and screamed, "Leo!" Leo and I had entered into a business marriage less than a year ago. Back then, my father saw how much I liked Leo and agreed to help his family overcome several hurdles. It was only with my family's financial support that Leo's failing company was restored to stable operations. But once we divorce, my family will pull out our investments and funding. At that point, what would happen to Leo's company was anyone's guess. Despite his mother's furious insults, Leo remained expressionless as he signed the divorce papers. Just before I left, I heard him say decisively, "What does it matter if Luna's company pulls out? My child can't live without me. Ruby is the woman I truly want to marry, and I'm willing to give up everything for her and our child. Chapter 11. After the smooth divorce, I focused even more on my acting. The filming of this movie was nearing its end, and Eric, the award-winning actor, came to make a guest appearance in the film. During the shoot, he frequently flirted and bantered with Ruby. Everyone on set knew their relationship wasn't ordinary. Some had even caught Ruby and Eric embracing and kissing. I pretended not to see anything. Who cares if my ex-husband was cheated on or not? It has nothing to do with me. The only one left in the dark was Leo, the pure love champion. In my past life, it wasn't until after we got married that I learned Ruby had been his first love during their college years. So I could never quite understand if Leo had fallen for Ruby at first sight back then. Why didn't he tell me? Why did he rush into a quick marriage with me right after graduation? My fingers brushed over my stomach. In this life, my Olivia is alive, healthy, and strong. When she's born, I have no intention of telling Leo. He doesn't deserve to be Olivia's father, neither in name nor in any other way. Today, while I was taking a break on set, I saw Leo step out of his car. He walked toward me with a spring in his step. His lips curved slightly in a good mood. Today was the final day of filming, so why was Leo here now? Then, he made a point to come over and say, "I'm going to propose to Ruby. She's carrying my son, and in a few months, she'll give birth. I have to give her the status she deserves. I can't let my son be born a bastard." I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Everyone on set was there, and I wished him success in his proposal. Ruby is pure, innocent, gentle, and virtuous, a real good girl. His cold, stern expression softened instantly when he spoke of Ruby. His face was full of tenderness, but then, his expression shifted as he looked at me. "Luna, you really need to work on your attitude, or no man will want you." Chapter 12. The curve of my lips stiffened, and I stared at Leo without expression. Why should I need a man's approval? If they get close to me, isn't it their privilege? I raised an eyebrow and continued, "And by the way, do you really think the baby Ruby is carrying is yours?" Upon hearing this, Leo's expression changed, his face instantly darkening. "Luna, watch your words. Of course, the child she's carrying is mine." Since he was so confident, I figured I'd better get my popcorn ready to watch the show. Leo strode away, his eyes full of displeasure. He kept Ruby hidden, and after entering the RV on set, neither of them made another appearance. My assistant handed me a video, as if she had discovered a major secret. "Sis, I accidentally caught this." She whispered a few words in my ear. I raised an eyebrow and smiled at my assistant. The final scene of the movie wasn't wrapped up until late at night. To celebrate, the director had bought a huge amount of fireworks, which lit up the sky in a dazzling display. Under the canopy of fireworks, Leo approached slowly. He walked toward Ruby, each step filled with determination. Beneath the brilliant display, he knelt on one knee and pulled out a ring worth millions, proposing. "Ruby, I didn't know how to make you happy before, and I kept upsetting you. But now I've learned how to love. I want to give you a home, to give our child a home." The crowd fell into a stunned silence. Everyone knew about Ruby's relationship with Eric. This complicated love triangle was difficult to root for. Ruby was at a loss for words, while Eric looked on as if he were just watching the drama unfold. Leo spoke each word with determination. "Ruby, will you marry me?" Ruby remained silent, her gaze drifting toward Eric from time to time. As the silence dragged on, Leo's expression grew more and more anxious. Amid the tension, a screen behind him suddenly lit up, its bright glow drawing everyone's attention. On the screen, a video began to play, with Ruby's voice echoing. "Eric, I'm pregnant with your child. You will love me, won't you?" The crowd was stunned. Leo's joy instantly turned to an icy coldness. He whipped around, staring at the screen, where Ruby and Eric were embracing. At that moment, his expression crumbled. Unbelievable! He was utterly devastated. Chapter 13. In the video, Ruby leaned dependently into Eric's arms. The display of affection was like an invisible slap that struck Leo's face hard. But the worst was yet to come. Eric chuckled and asked, "So, whose baby are you really carrying?" "Of course it's yours. This child is already 3 months old. If it's not yours, whose could it be?" Don't believe those videos online. When the flood hit, of course I had to lie and tell that fool the baby was his. Otherwise, why would he have saved me? I nearly laughed out loud. Leo's eyes turned bloodshot, and a hint of anguish filled his gaze. "Ruby, so, you've been lying to me from the start? This baby was never mine." Ruby's eyes reddened, and tears slowly rolled down her cheeks. She looked pitiful, as always. "Leo, I truly love you. I was just fooling around with them." What a joke. Who would still believe such nonsense? Now Ruby was desperately trying to placate Leo, while Playboy Eric couldn't have cared less about the situation. After his failed proposal and the public revelation that he'd been cheated on, Leo was utterly humiliated. He had cheated during our marriage, then divorced me, only to be cheated on by Ruby afterward. Soon, everyone on the internet was talking about Leo. His personal scandals were directly impacting the company's reputation. With the growing public outrage, the company's stock plummeted, and Leo became the target of endless ridicule online. Leo dumped a top-tier queen like Luna and fell for Ruby, a classic femme fatale. This is what happens to a scumbag. A blind CEO like him. How can his company make good products? Their quality control issues came up before, and it was Luna who saved them by endorsing their brand. The public uproar grew, and once the storm started, it was hard to calm down. In just 1 month, Leo's company suffered unprecedented damage. This time, I'd like to see how long Leo can last without my family and without me. A month later, after wrapping up my shoot, I returned home to find Leo standing at my door. He looked at me, his voice trembling slightly. "Luna, can you help me now?" Chapter 14. Leo clearly hadn't been sleeping well. He looked exhausted. I stared at him coldly and asked, my voice icy, "Help you with what?" "The company's stocks have plummeted. If this continues, it won't be long before we face an even worse crisis. Luna, only you can help me now." I gave him a faint smile, dripping with sarcasm. "Leo, why don't you ask Ruby? I'm sure she'd be more than willing to help. Now that you're desperate, you come to me?" Where was this attitude when you were on top of the world, willing to give everything to Ruby? At the mention of Ruby, Leo's expression changed immediately. He pressed his lips together, struggling to hide his frustration, trying to remain calm. He said, "Luna, you know Ruby can't help me. Only your family's business can save me now. Even if it means merging our companies. It doesn't matter, just as long as you agree." It was clear that his company was in dire straits. Otherwise, the high and mighty Leo would never have come to me, saying such things. But I had no interest in taking over a company that was rotten to the core. "No, I don't want to. It's filthy." The moment those words left my mouth, Leo's eyes narrowed, and a look of obvious anger spread across his handsome face. "What do you mean?" "Exactly what I said. It's not the company that's filthy, it's you." If I truly helped him, I would be stuck in an endless entanglement with him for the rest of my life. Instead of that, I'd rather build my own empire. Besides, my family's business is thriving. Why would I take on a sinking ship? From that day forward, I never saw Leo again. My career continued to flourish, and Olivia, growing in my belly, was healthy and strong. I was starting to show. I wasn't keen on exposing my private life to the media, but despite my best efforts, I was photographed while out. Soon, the news of my pregnancy exploded online. Everyone was speculating whether I would reconcile with Leo for the sake of the child. The rumors quickly reached Leo's ears. We crossed paths at an event. He was scrambling to rebuild connections with former business partners and secure funding. He had lost all dignity, accepting rejection without a second thought. Gone was the Leo from our past life, when everyone catered to his whims. Now, he was a shadow of his former self. Our eyes met. I turned to leave, but Leo quickly rushed forward, blocking my way. "Luna, Luna, you're pregnant, aren't you? It's my child, right?" Chapter 15. I narrowed my eyes, calmly meeting his gaze full of hope. In our past life, he had never anticipated Olivia's birth. On the day I gave birth to Olivia, Leo was in a company meeting. The delivery was far from smooth. I suffered massive hemorrhaging on the operating table. I barely survived and gave birth to Olivia. Afterward, as a husband and a father, he never cared for either of us. Now, seeing him like this, all I could feel was disgust at his hypocrisy. Luna, I know it's my child. For the sake of the baby, just forgive me this time. I let out a cold laugh, unable to suppress the hatred bubbling inside me. I could no longer hold it in. I swung my hand and slapped Leo across the face. The crisp sound of the slap echoed through the event, drawing everyone's attention. Leo turned his face to the side, his cold, vengeful gaze fixed on me. His eyes burned with anger as he lowered his voice. Luna, was I wrong? The child is mine. What's the big deal about putting up with things for the child? I'll treat you well from now on. Why should I put up with it? Leo, tell me, why should I endure this? I crossed my arms, a faint smile tugging at the corner of my lips, my voice calm and indifferent. I have money and a career. After my child is born, I can give her the best life. She will be treated like a princess by everyone. Why should I lower myself in front of you? You think too highly of yourself. When the child is born, she will have nothing to do with you. I can be both her mother and her father. She will be happier without you in her life than anyone else could ever make her. Leo, humiliated, couldn't speak for a long time. He clenched his fists, trying to suppress his emotions. As I passed by him, I whispered, "Oh, and I forgot to tell you, her last name is mine. When Olivia is born, she won't be the neglected child from the past life. She will be my treasure." At that moment, Leo's face turned even more wretched, far worse than when I slapped him. But I loved seeing him like this. The more miserable and defeated he was, the more I enjoyed it. Chapter 16. Since the release of my movie in theaters, it has been a massive success, going viral across the internet. My acting was widely praised, and positive reviews poured in from everywhere. Luna is absolutely stunning. Her figure is beautiful, and she's got the acting skills to match. I'm in love. As expected, once a woman leaves a man, she becomes unstoppable. But Luna used to be a hopeless romantic. Could she reconcile with Leo because of the baby? I don't know who started the rumor about me getting back together with Leo, but soon, the whole internet was buzzing about it. During the film's promotional event, a reporter asked again, "Will you be reconciling with Leo?" Facing the cameras, I answered calmly, "I have no intention of getting back together. The child is the child, and I am me." And here, I'd like to remind all my female fans, no matter if you're pregnant or have a child, don't lose yourself. These words were for me as much as they were for them. I regretted how, in my past life, I gave up my career for love. A few months later, I heard the news that Leo had gone bankrupt. His bankruptcy didn't surprise me. Without the financial support from my family's company, his business couldn't stand on its own. Cutting losses was the best outcome. What did surprise me was how long Leo managed to struggle before it all fell apart. He had gotten entangled in lawsuits over economic disputes, owing a mountain of debt he couldn't repay. As a result, he was sued and taken to court. The main office building of Leo's company was already listed for auction by the court. I had stopped all my public activities to prevent any complications with my pregnancy. Each day, I rested at home, eagerly awaiting Olivia's arrival. At the same time, I had my assistant keep an eye on the auction. Finally, I successfully won the bid for his company's headquarters building. The day I arrived at the company, I saw Leo being taken away by the police. "Luna, you've come to save me, haven't you?" Chapter 17. I took off my sunglasses, looking at Leo, who was about to get into the police car. "Boss, it's this building," the person beside me said respectfully, inviting me to go inside. I glanced at Leo, smiling as I spoke. "I'm the legal owner of the company now. From today on, this place belongs to me." Leo's expression shifted instantly. His eyes filled with a complex mix of emotions, hatred among them. "You have the money but still won't save me. Luna, do you hate me that much?" "Hate? Of course I hate you. Letting you rot in prison for life is too merciful. I wish you were dead. If it weren't for the law, I would have had someone get rid of Leo a long time ago." That way, my precious Olivia would no longer have a heartless father, and no one would ever bully her again. Leo was sent to prison due to his financial crimes, while I founded my own company. Not only that, but I was also nominated for Best Actress. That night, our film crew gathered together. Ruby happened to be sitting next to me when I won the Golden Horse Award for Best Actress. I caught the fleeting look of jealousy in Ruby's eyes, though she tried hard to hide it. I noticed. Congratulations. Sister Luna, you've really made it. Your career is thriving, and your baby will be born soon, she said. I smiled slightly and leaned in, whispering, "Thank you, but what about your baby?" Ruby's pregnancy had ended in a miscarriage. Eric didn't want to take responsibility, and of course, her agency wouldn't allow her to have the child easily. So Ruby had no choice but to terminate the pregnancy. In my words, the smile on Ruby's face vanished instantly. I walked up to the stage and took my trophy. This has been my dream. Before, it was a regret. Now, it's complete. I'm so grateful to be here, to exist in this world, not just a fleeting dream. Existence itself is beautiful. This trophy is a testament to Olivia being with me in this life. She will always be by my side. Chapter 18. The day of Olivia's birth. I was both excited and filled with anticipation. Thanks to my careful preparation, I avoided the postpartum hemorrhage that had nearly taken my life in my previous life. I successfully gave birth to Olivia. She was sweet and adorable, just like in my past life. Olivia was exceptionally smart. She learned to talk before she even turned one. When she called me Mama for the first time, in that moment, my heart raced with joy, an indescribable wave of happiness. Tears flowed freely from my eyes. The joy of recovering something precious that had been lost is something no one else could understand. Olivia became the apple of my eye, cherished in the palm of my hand. She was adored by everyone in the company and became my most important family member. But while some were celebrating, others were mourning. In the same year I gave birth to Olivia, Ruby crossed paths with a powerful figure in the entertainment industry and made an enemy. Ruby's acting skills were never that good, and word has it that she offended the wrong person by rearranging her seating at an event she attended. After that, Ruby was blacklisted in the entertainment industry. She never appeared in public or on screen again. She was quickly forgotten in the fast-moving world of showbiz, as if she had never existed. Seasons changed, and soon enough, it was Olivia's 7th birthday. I threw her a birthday party at the most luxurious 5-star hotel in the city center. At that moment, my little girl stood in front of a 7-tiered cake, eyes closed as she blew out the candles. A smile spread across her innocent little face, her shallow dimples making her look even more adorable. Mom is not just my mom. She's also my dad. She's the person Olivia loves most in the whole world. Since she could remember, Olivia had never asked for her father or sought out a father figure. I gave her enough love, and in her world, having me was more than enough. The flickering candlelight reflected on her sweet face, and tears welled up in her eyes as she choked out, "I want to be with Mom forever." My heart swelled with emotion as I held her close. "Olivia, do you want to hear Mommy sing to you?" Olivia kissed my cheek and nodded with a bright smile. Holding the microphone, I stood on the stage of the banquet hall and gave her a special birthday gift. I sang 7 sweet and innocent children's songs, the notes dancing in the air, carrying my endless blessings for my daughter. And in my heart, I made a silent prayer. I prayed that my Olivia would live a life full of peace, joy, and happiness, free from worry or harm.